Okay, we are here. We're back recording at Gas Digital. Shout out to Gas Digital Network for allowing us to use their space. What a place it is to say slurs and not be judged. Not only not judged, but rewarded for your misbehavior. Before we start with the episode, welcome. It's the Wizard of Pod. I'm Colum, Tyrrell. Let me put my headphones on. It's amateur hour right now. I just got finished doing a great episode with the great Louis J. Gomez. Louis, before I even get into that, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe, or comment. Leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. It doesn't really matter what you do or what you say. You can insult me all you want. Say whatever it is you feel. Just don't curse, because then YouTube will take it down. And I always get messages from people who think I'm deleting comments because it has like an Asian slur in it. It has an SNL word no in the comments, but I'm not deleting it. I don't care what you say about the non-whites, okay? I don't. I'm trying not to curse too early on either, because apparently that affects the algorithm too. But leave a comment, whatever you want. But just so you know, if you say any curse, it gets deleted automatically. So you have to be creative and use like the dollar sign instead of the S. So you can use, so, you know, I don't know what looks like a G. What's a good what's a good alternative to a G? Like if they were trying to spell out something on a license plate of a car, what would they use instead of G?
Oh, well, I don't know if you can use this in the license plate, but maybe I like to use the percent signs. It looks like a lowercase g, kind of.
Oh, it does? Wow.
Kind of. To me, it does.
I think
it gets through the algorithm.
Now I think I've seen that, and I wasn't reading it right. I was like, look at this guy with his NI percentage dollar signs, hard R dollar signs. I banned the letter G from the live chat whenever we go live, because it was just too exhausting. It was just too much, because people just keep flooding it. Anyway, please leave whatever you want. Just know that I love free speech. I'm a free speech advocate. Leave a comment, but most importantly, if you can subscribe, it costs nothing. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That was the goal. That was the 2021 goal. I think we're very, very close. So please hit subscribe. And like every episode of this podcast, the first hour will be free, available for you now wherever you're listening. If you want the last half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on how it gets edited up, that will be available on my Patreon, patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. It starts at $1. You'll get the rest of this interview. And then also we've got content with Dan Soder, Doug Stanhope, Matt McCusker, who else? Ryan Long, Danny Polishchuk. Did I say his name right? I think I did. And to go check that out. And I've got some news coming up next month on October 6th. It's a Wednesday night in New York City. I'm recording my debut album. It's going to be a crowd work show. It's a crowd work album. It's something I'm not passionate about, but hey, listen, it's a cash grab. I would like you guys to be there if you can make it. If you live in New York or anywhere near New York, come down. I'm looking for real fans, real comedy lovers. It's going to be a great night. I'm going to have a bunch of surprise guests on. We're going to do some dual crowd work. I'm going to be doing some stuff. I'm going to have some people doing stand-up at the beginning. I'm recording everything myself. I'm producing it myself. It's my equipment. I don't even have my producer, TW, helping me. It's just going to be Colum Tyrrell's project. I'm designing the artwork. Because I think that's what you got to do nowadays. It's all DIY. So October 6th, we're going to have a link to it in the comments, but right now it's exclusively being sold across on the Patreon. If you're a member of the Patreon, you'll get a link to buy the tickets. It's at the Stand Comedy Club on East 16th Street, Wednesday, the 6th of October. So let's help me fill it up. There are limited seats, and I think we're nearly halfway through already. So buy yourself a ticket. Please come to that. I'd appreciate it. That's it. That's the only thing I'll be asking for plugs. Anything else to plug? Oh, there's a Discord group now. There's a Discord group also in it. And I think that you can be plugging all day. sometimes it's just like, I get sick of the plugs to myself, and it's like a necessity. But I think my goal is to really be one of those. I just need to get enough. Bobby might know this because you actually work with professional comedians, right? Not like me, who drives a truck all day. But do they ever reach enough? Is it ever like, oh, that's enough subscribers, that's enough money, that's enough
Never.
plug? It's always
going to be more and more and more.
Fuck.
You got to be that way, though.
Yeah.
You can't be content with if you want to build on your shit, you know?
Yeah, I know, but I'm like that with money. My whole life, I've always just been like, if I could just get $5,000.
But then what do you do when you run out of that 5,000?
Yeah. Well, it's always just like if I had $5,000 and then I'll get that and I just need 5 more. And now it's just like, it's 5 more. And it's like that with subscribers, is it?
10,
So you know what?
15.
You know what? This is a bad addiction of growth. It's probably not healthy. So unsubscribe, actually. I've changed my mind. I'm a Zen warrior now. Unsubscribe. Fuck off. And don't come to my show. That's a lie. Do come to the show, please, because I'm gonna be the first guy to do a crowd work album with when there's no one in the audience. Just me fucking. What type of cheer is that? Anyway, so please come out to that. That'd be great. Thank you so much. The podcast is growing all the time, and we're close. We have big things going on. Big things are happening, and who knows what's around the corner. Next week we have Lil Sasquatch from Barstool Sports is on the podcast. So any of you know aware of that guy? He's so fucking funny. I don't really follow these guys who do skits on Twitter and stuff, but he's on the podcast next week. It's going to be great. But today's guest is the hilarious Louis J. Gomez. Hilarious is the correct word. A lot of people now, the automatic thing would be like, hilarious? I don't know. But Louis has really helped me out. Between Louis and Mike Racine, they've helped me out more than anyone else has. Louis gave me a shot to come in here into Gas Digital. Guest on a couple of shows. The first ones went okay, and then eventually I got more and more comfortable here, and now it's becoming, we're a family. We're a very white family over here. Good old-fashioned American suburban family. We're just all in the closet white dudes. So Louis has been very kind to me, and so I'll always just have a weird loyalty to Louis. No matter what allegations come out, no matter what you dig up, no matter what he admits to, no matter what the facts are, I will never quit you, Louis. And so I'm glad I was able to get him on the podcast. He is a legend in my mind. He's really achieved so much because, like, on paper, Louis is a fucking retard. Like, really, like, it's not even on paper. Like, he just in life, he is just a big, dumb fucking, he's like a dog that learned how to dress himself, and then you're just watching him drive a car. Go, what the fuck is this? This is incredible. Every time he does anything, it's like a Disney movie where a dog ate some sort of magic wand and now he's a human and he's trying to learn how to podcast and not say the N-word and things like that. Because that's what dogs are just saying all the time, by the way. So Louis, for someone who, he's not the funniest stand-up in the world. He is very funny. He makes me laugh a lot. He'll admit it, he's not the greatest stand-up in the world. Although I think he's a lot better stand-up than people give him credit for, too. That's another thing that bugs me. I think Louis used to be so unfunny. This was a problem with Louis's career, right? He started with Jay, who's hilarious, one of the best comics in New York City, therefore the world. And then when you're beside Jay and then you're like a young comic, it just highlights how unfunny you are. But now that Louis is really funny, just that impression is in their head. That's what I think. So go check out his stand-up comedy, his debut album. It's a lot funnier than you imagine. It's a lot funnier than he gets credit for. He really doesn't get enough credit for just being a funny fucking lunatic. And I think that was the name of the episode, isn't it? Louis is a lunatic. But he's a legend. He's gone further and he a lot of the time the left and the socialists or whatever you want to call them, the social justice warriors, they're always trying to cancel him, and he likes it too because he creates publicity out of it. But it's funny because what they're trying to, because of what? Because he says Asians have sideways pussies or something. Is that what he always says? What does he say? Indian women have hairy lips. They do. I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys don't care about grooming. That's not fucking. That's just observation. Gary Gulman, if he had any balls, would be talking about hairy-lipped Indians. But no, he talks about depression. Anyway, shout out Gary Gulman. Don't beat me up. Now, but the thing is the same. It's the same people on the left because Lewis, like, look at his life. Fucking horrible life. Horrible father. Horrible mother. Just a terrible upbringing. He should be in prison for just something. And everyone else in that situation, Lewis is like a model citizen. For a guy that just says anti-Semitic things, like that's like such a good result for where he came from. The fact that he even has $1,000 is insane. Whereas the same people that go from have his childhood, they end up in prison. Everyone's like crying about like, oh, it's not their fault. They're a victim of their circumstance, which I would agree they are. A lot of people from bad neighborhoods, it's tough to get out of it. And Lewis gets out, and it's just those same fruits from Brooklyn who are like, no, now you got to be even better. It's like, what do you want? Lewis, if he wants to get the respect from the social justice warriors, he needs to go to prison for assaulting a fucking old lady, stealing a handbag or something. Then they'll love him. They'll fucking love him then. And he's kind of black, right? Or at least he says he is. So Lewis is the most successful comic in the world. From where he started. He started at minus 100. Like, Louis C.K. playing The Garden is not impressive because Louis C.K. was already, like, wasn't his mother like a Harvard professor or something like that? He's super articulated. He's super smart. He has a lot going on for him. He's talented. So he went so many steps. Well, Lewis went all the way for it. So I'm really sucking his cock right now. But I just, I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does. And he is often getting into hijinks. And so I figured this episode we would make it all about all the stand-up comedy routines that have been written about Lewis. Because Lewis started with all these great comics. Nate. Who else did we have? We had Big J, one of his best friends. And the first time I'd ever even heard of Lewis, I was doing a comedy festival in Ireland, and Nate Bargatze closed out the show with a story about Lewis. So, like, he's just a notorious, bumbling, dumb cunt. And I hope this episode is good and you enjoy it. All right. Good luck. Now, so at least we know with timing. So here we are, Lewis. This is our first time one-on-one doing anything ever. Maybe
is it?
I don't know. We've never.
I mean, like recording a podcast. I think we've done a couple of gigs one-on-one, right?
I think we've been in the car for a while together one-on-one.
Yeah.
Once, I remember one time we were in the car together one-on-one, and I don't think we said that for like 25 minutes, and I was just like, is this what we're like not on mic? It was just turn our backs to each other and go on our phones.
Well, I'm like sort of autistic, not on microphone. Like I'm not like even with like chicks. Like it's kind of funny. Like if I'm talking to a chick, like if I want to hit on a chick, I got to bring her on my podcast and sexually harass her. And then as soon as the mics go off, I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. So
that's such a good technique.
Yeah.
Step 1, create a podcast network.
Yeah.
Harass her. Yeah, I'm the same on stage too. It's like I feel like if I'm on stage with a mic, I can probably just talk to anyone about anything so easily. Yeah. And then once it's off, it's sort of like,
well, that's the thing. Like it's like exercising a muscle. We get used to having to be on, and the microphones are on, the cameras go on, and there's like an energy to it. I remember like Kim, when I was dating Kim, before I dated her, like she said it, I was like sort of like nervous around her, and then we did a podcast, and as soon as the podcast went on, I turned into like Louis J. Gomez, the podcaster. And I was like, "What's up, bitch? Nice ass."
The persona.
And then she was like, "Oh, hello." So yeah, it's like it's just sort of, it's like being in your comfort zone. For somebody else, that doesn't work in the business, it's putting on a nice suit, right? If you're like, getting a haircut. You're like, I feel like $1 million right now. the microphone goes on and it is sort of, that's me at my best, you know?
Yeah.
So you can imagine how awful I am.
This is Lewis, when he's operating at his very best, and then outside of podcasting, very quiet. But I think we've spent more time on air, so like we don't. It's not like we have a secret relationship that the public don't know about.
No.
Me and you have pretty much everything we've ever talked about ever has been recorded and monetized.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you.
So to be honest, I don't even know if I know you.
It's a better way to be. Imagine anyone out there could record and monetize all of your conversation with your friends.
Yeah, but also, then in a weird way, we've also got this view of each other. We only sort of know each other when we're joking. We also know, because we do hold back on podcasts. And that's the funny thing about...
You hold back on podcasts?
I think everyone holds... We hold back on podcasts.
Well,
Every comic holds back on podcasts.
I just don't admit to my crimes on podcasts.
I think that's why, though, it's so funny when people are getting cancelled and shit like that. And it's like, I was being good. Everyone's like, I didn't say the thing I wanted to say.
Oh, that's
what I'm saying.
Here's the deal. If you've been canceled...
Yeah.
Imagine the things that they don't know about. Like, we know about Aziz, like, choking a bitch or whatever.
Or whatever he did.
I mean, Aziz was probably out there fucking really hurting women, young women. I'll say it right now, the Wizard of Pod.
Let's do it.
Aziz is out there hurting people.
Aziz has definitely manipulated women.
We all have, though. Why, like that? I almost feel like, here's my problem.
Because he's successful, we have to take him down.
The idea of manipulation, everybody is always manipulating everybody at all times. Whether you want to call it sales, whether you want to call it whatever. Everyone has their own version of what it is, right? We're all trying to manipulate each other at all times. Everyone's trying to get ahead in life. They're trying to fucking make their bank account fat. They're trying to get laid. Whatever it is, right? Whatever their angle is, even when they pretend they don't have an angle, those people have even more of an angle, right?
Yeah. Oh, the whole don't have an angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I almost feel like I have respect for people that at very least admit that they're at the table manipulating other motherfuckers.
Okay.
Simple as that. Manipulation is a...
you think I'm manipulating you right now?
I think that... No, not necessarily. But I think that you're...
You folded under questioning immediately.
No. But it's not that. I think that you are... Every relationship in life, you are trying to...
Get something out of it?
You're trying to get something out of it. I don't think that there's anything unpure about admitting that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think having useful relationships and having friendships with people that, I don't want to say can do something for you, but it's like you hear this all the time where you're like, oh, you got toxic people, you got to cut them out of your life.
Yeah.
That's just the other side of the coin to be friends with important people that can do shit for you. That's just the other side of it, which is the truth. If you're going to pick and choose, I say this to Shannon all the time, who produces the Real Ass podcast. It's like, just only date guys who have $1 million in the bank. I was like, you'll find the guy whose personality matches up with you, and you'll find the guy that you truly fall in love with. But at the very least, you also have a guy who's got a fucking $1 million in the bank.
But do you think Shannon can get a guy with $1 million?
Hell no.
but aim for it.
Aim for the fucking stars.
Shannon,
get maybe a guy with a job.
Shannon's actually, and I was saying this to someone else the other day, Shannon's getting hotter.
As she gets older.
Because she's like a hot old bitch now.
Yeah, she is.
She used to be like a wrecked young girl. Now she's a hot old woman. Like she's like a sexy, like Stifler's mom, that woman.
Well, she's not that old. Jesus Christ.
No, but she's getting there.
You're right.
She's gonna go up. Very rare in pussy does the value go up.
This is actually interesting because what's happening is her hotness... It's like math. Bobby, I almost wish you could show a picture of Shannon so we could really break her down physically.
That's what this whole episode is about, is just Shannon's body.
You're very right about this. Because what's happening is, like, she's, like, let's just say, without even giving, like, the real numbers, like, let's just say at 30 years old, she was a 7.
Yes.
She's actually getting slightly hotter. Since I've known her the past couple years, she's getting a lot hotter. So let's say she's 7.2, 7.3 now, okay? Yeah. For her age, like as her age speeds past that number and she stays that number, it's becoming more and more impressive.
So but all the other women that were like maybe 9s, they're going down with as their age going up. She got her like It just didn't match up. There was something didn't quite match up.
You're right. Whatever it is, like the
Now she's
universe.
just, now she's just a sexy old bro.
There's some weird fucking time travel shit with Shannon. Like somebody went back in time and stepped on a fucking bug, and they fucked up Shannon's whole shit because she should be hot.
Yeah,
Shannon should just be a hot chick.
She's gonna get it. Never give up. It's like Rocky Balboa with hotness.
Dude. Yes,
I didn't hear no bell, which was my great.
Nobody thought Shannon was gonna get the shot.
No, she's like she's like your neighbor. You know,
And I think in 10 years, Shannon's gonna reach her peak hotness for her age ratio.
Just a TED Talk graph. Okay. On the y-axis.
No, Shannon's hot. Shannon's hot as hell.
No, Shannon's hot.
Shannon could have had me if she played her cards right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There she is. Yeah. Well, we can put it.
Shannon. Look at that.
She's a hottie. I'd love to have a go. I'd love to have a little go there now.
I would love it.
Yeah.
But
it's just she sewed it back up.
What?
She sewed it up.
What do you mean?
It's closed.
Oh, she doesn't fuck.
She doesn't fuck.
Yeah.
Well, she'll have to soon.
Yeah.
All right. Lewis, I invited you on the podcast today to talk all about you. This is so I hope you enjoy it.
You don't normally have guests, right?
I've been bringing in guests now. We're on season 2. It's all guests.
Ooh,
Guest galore.
Season 2, guest galore. I like that. Is that the name of the season?
It is now.
Yeah.
I like it. Guest galore.
Season 2, guest galore.
So last week we had Ryan Long and Danny Polishchuk. We had Dan Soder on before. And next week we have some guy from Barstool Sports.
Great.
Ari's going to do it. So getting the big heavy hitters. But you are without sucking your cock, you are like a living legend of the New York comedy scene. Are you aware of that? Do you know this about yourself?
No, I don't think I know this about myself.
Are you being sarcastic?
I really know. I wouldn't call myself a living legend.
Lewis, because you are, for all intents and purposes, you are like a bumbling retard, right? And you are a retard, and you've achieved so much. But there can't be a comic in the world alive that doesn't know who you are. Like really, Kevin Hart may not.
I'm sure Kevin Hart knows who I am.
Kevin Hart. Do you think Kevin Hart knows of the Legionist Gangs and
definitely? You don't think Kevin Hart knows the Legionist Gangs? For sure, dude. Legionist Gangs.
Sorry, you're right.
At this point, Legionist Gangs has become a brand, one of the only recognizable comedy brands. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like we are like it's almost like a band. You know, like and Big J has his own thing going on. I have my own thing going on. Dave Smith has his own thing going on. I understand what you're saying. I think that I have, I'm memorable.
You're memorable.
That's really what it is. I have a memorable voice, and I'm kind of an asshole, and I'm kind of like, whether you like me or
crazy.
don't like me, you're going to probably remember me, which in my opinion is what 90% of comedians don't have. It's like they just fall right into the shuffle, and they got to do some crazy shit in order to be memorable. I remember I went to, I don't know how it works in Ireland, but here, you go to middle school and then high school. Middle school is 6th, 7th, 8th grade. High school is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And I went to both middle schools. I got kicked out of Haverstraw Middle School. I went to Farley Middle School, which was like, or I got kicked out of Farley rather and went to Haverstraw. So by the time I got to high school, I knew everybody. Like everyone was sort of nervous going into high school. But by the time I got to high school, I was a freshman. Everybody knew me. I knew everybody, whether you liked me or didn't like me. People were always like, "Oh, that's Lewis," and he's fucking. I've always been loud. I always like had something about me that made me stick out.
Yes.
Most of the time, people don't like me when they first either meet me or hear me on something.
Of course.
And then I have to wear them down slowly but surely.
Yes.
And sometimes, every once in a while, they understand me.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I remember moving here and then people were like, "Oh, Legionist Gangs." I was like, "I'll check this out." And I was like, "Who's this fucking Lewis guy?"
A lot of people felt that way.
Yeah. No, here we are. A few years later, kind of friends.
Yeah.
Pretty friendly. That's great. So that's why you think. How do you think it is that you have such an impact on the New York scene and stuff like that? Just being you, just being loud, boisterous, not thinking about not thinking about what you're saying.
I think that I'm unique in that I'm not constantly worried about the perception of me, even though we all are. We're comedians and like we present this like package of ourselves with social media. Everyone does. We all train ourselves to sort of present this perfect version of ourselves and to not highlight the mistakes that we make and the fucked up things in our lives. And I think I'm rare in that I recognize that is, number one, unique to do that, and number two, that a lot of funny comes from that. So I'm the guy that will highlight me being an idiot at a fucking bar or to an Uber driver. Or to, everyone has these little freakouts. It's not like I have a freak out every week. I'm being honest about these little freakouts, and a lot of other people, whatever your personal little freakouts are, you fucking shut up about it because you're embarrassed, or not you, but you know, whoever. So I think that is it's rare. And also, I was willing to call chicks fat on microphone and on camera very early in my career, and I think that really had an impact. I tell you right now, not many dudes were out there calling chicks fat at a higher level when they've got like I was in the Comedy Cellar calling chicks fat.
Nice.
That's like, you know, who's doing that?
People aren't booked there anymore.
Yeah, me. That's it. So, you know, and when I say that, I mean that sort of like literally, but you know, I mean it's almost like a bigger picture thing. It's like. Like I remember I was on Why Can't It Be Do with Bobby Kelly, and like Kelly Festuca, who was a comic, we were all friends. Yeah. But she was just fat. And I would tell her to her face. I'd be like, oh, you're so fat. And she had an Australian accent. We all make fun of the way it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, nice.
And I think that really made people go like, look, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Look at this real ass dude. And you're like, yes. I have no filter. It's great.
It's part of my secret sauce.
Yes. I was like, Lewis, what is it? What's the secret to your success? And then after all of that, you're like, I call bitches fat
on camera.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Good stuff. So, I came up with the idea for this episode a while ago. I think I was listening to Kurt Metzger's album, and then he had a bit about you, and then I was like, fuck. I was like, how many comics that Lewis is friends with have routines about Lewis? I think you must. There's like outside of like a celebrity like Michael Jackson. It's almost like there's more stuff about you than anyone else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, once again, I'm willing to be kind of ridiculous, and then it's also like I don't have a thin skin, so I think people are more willing to make a joke about me,
of course,
because they know I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Whereas maybe some other people are like, oh, dude, what the fuck? Why are you like making fun of me on stage? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've sort of made a career out of being made fun of and not really having a super thin skin about it. You know, I'm very self-deprecating. You know, you know, like, I don't know. I think that
look,
I can't give you a reason why.
You're a very unique.
I'm also friends with a lot of great comics.
You're friends with great comics. A lot of great comics.
Yeah.
First time I met Nate Bargatze in a festival in Ireland years ago, and he closed out with a joke about you. We'll play that soon. So I had heard about you even before I got here, but then I never realized it was you till years later. But we're gonna just play what we're gonna do is we'll play some of the comedy clips, and then we'll just try to get your opinion on it. Whether it's, I'm assuming most of it's embellished, whatever it is, what you remember, and then I guess we can just talk about whatever you fucking feel.
Yeah, sure.
I can't remember what the first one was. We did have something from Ari Shafir, but that's on his special, so we might just clip that in right now. And then that'll be in post, maybe.
I know that was Ari talking about me. Your producer's going to say something.
Well,
yeah, first one's coming up is Nate Bargatze's talking about Lewis.
Okay, yeah. All right, so we'll play that once. So,
well, do you want to mention the Ari thing? The Ari thing, that was true, and I don't remember the exact. It wasn't even a bit about me. He just mentions the fact in part of his premise about pregnancy, that he told me to get James aboard. My son is James, 8 years old now. But we were in my backyard, and I was Ari was on the podcast, Legion of Skanks, and I was revealing to them, you know, that I was going to have this kid, and Ari's like, abort it now. You got to, you can't.
No,
you're gonna quit comedy. That's gonna be that, and that was sort of his take on it. Yeah. He saw people as young comedians. I wasn't established enough yet. Like 8 years ago, I think he looked at me as going like, oh shit, you're about to start doing shit, and now you're about to have a kid, and I've seen this happen before. You're not talented enough.
You got to kill the baby.
Dude, you're not talented enough to have a baby right now.
Yeah.
And I think that he.
You need to write more,
Well, there
or
was
get rid of this
there was
baby.
two ways of going about it. There was either like a lot of people did. They'd
Yeah.
quit comedy and
course.
fucking go get a day job, and they gotta. And by the way, my son's mother wanted that to be the case. Like she.
Well, she's a good mother.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
I understand
she
it.
didn't have, you have to have blind fucking faith into this
course.
intangible thing. I'm making no money at the time. Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. I'm no money in comedy. I'm talking about spot pay, a handful of, there's no podcast money back then. There was no advertising back then. There was nothing. And it was like, for her, I think it was like, oh shit, this is really scary. Like, I'm about to have a baby. He better have a regular job and a backup plan, because she also didn't believe in my comedy enough.
Yeah.
So, and then,
No one else is gonna believe in your shit.
no, you have
Ever.
to believe in it yourself. If you don't
Ever.
believe in it, that's that.
You're fucked.
So Ari, yeah, he was just sort of like, yeah, you got to board it. And once again, I have it in me. Like, I knew as soon as I fucking found out I was going to have a baby, I was like, well, this is it. That's when everything became very, very real. And that's
Yeah.
when it became like, well, I have to, now it's not even a debate. I cannot fail. There's no option to fail now. I have to put one foot in front of the other. I'm not going to get a day job. I'm not going back to working a regular full-time job. This is going to be the path that I'm on. And I had to dive head in, and not to suck my own dick here, but that's a fucking scary, especially if any parent who gives a fuck about their kids, that's a scary thing to go like, I'm going to have blind faith into this thing that I don't even know. I have no idea how I'm going to start making real money. There's no path to it. There's no genuine, like, I couldn't even give myself advice. I can even go back right now and be like, well, it's this, this, and this. It was about being fluid and moving into the right positions. And when the opportunities came about, moving into those positions and taking advantage of those opportunities. And I think that's a rare quality that I think, just in general, most people won't have the balls to sort of take that chance. I think most people will take the quote unquote easier route, and sort of the safer route.
So do you think I should tell my girl to pull the goalie? Just fucking.
Oh, does she got a?
She's on the pill.
She's on the pill.
Yeah, but I can just say, stop taking them, baby. I'm gonna fucking baby you up. Give me some motivation.
Just for a little bit of motivation.
Just a little bit of motivation.
Just a
have
little
kid.
motivation.
Little anchor baby. A little anchor baby.
I mean, look, I think that I think you're deep enough in it that it wouldn't matter. I think you would, I don't know. It depends on who you are. I hear about people being bad parents, and I can't wrap my head around not being a good dad, or not wanting to see my kid every day, or not wanting or yelling at him. Any of that shit. Like, so I don't know who you are as a dude. You might just say it doesn't matter.
Do you yell at your girlfriends?
No, not really.
No?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, I used to get into
Do you
like
think
crazy toxic.
James almost taught you how to stop yelling, in a weird way.
No. I stopped dating Puerto Rican girls.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, that's just
It's
the
just
way.
I went white.
No, yeah.
So pleasant. I went to Pleasant.
White chicks, they're just gonna cry and lock themselves in a bathroom. It's great.
And then you have to pretend like
Dude, Puerto Rican girls come at you with a nail gun. It's like
course.
nuts, dude. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no.
they key your car. It's like, that's your car.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you can't do it.
All right, let's play this Nate Bargatze clip, which is pretty famous. This is from his album, his first album. What's it called?
Yelled at by a clown.
Yelled at by a Clown.
Yeah, and he also did it on Kimmel or Fallon.
There's multiple videos of this, but I figured we'd play the album version because, I feel like the album version is whatever he wanted it to be the most.
Yeah, you're right. He presented that. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the way I figured. But if you want to watch it, the clips, you can. Can you play that now?
I got a buddy of mine that's into this MMA stuff, and he's crazy. And this is when I learned how crazy he was. We went to go eat. His name's Lewis. So me and Lewis go to eat at a McDonald's. It was my choice. So we go into McDonald's. We both ordered our food, and then we sit down at the table with our food. And then Lewis went to the bathroom, so he left me alone with his food. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a prank on him. So I grabbed his hamburger. I unwrapped it. I took a bite out of it. Then I wrapped it back up, and I put it back down on his tray. So that's my big prank. Like when he comes back, I'm like, dude, did they eat your burger before they gave it to you? That's crazy. They're just doing that now. It's a dumb prank, all right? You see my acting skills. It should not work at all. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. He should come back, he should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his good buddy sitting with him, who also dabbles in comedy, and just be like, hey, just wanted to run this by you, before I unexpectedly go freak out. on this entire McDonald's. That's what should go down. Just a quick, hey, did you touch my food the only time it was out of my sight before I try to fight a group of people that will not really understand why they're fighting? But that was the day I learned Lewis is a lunatic. And just wants to fight McDonald's people, I guess. Because he opened his burger and ignored that we came together. Like, didn't even kind of look at me. Just immediately looked at the McDonald's employees, almost as if he expected them to do it. Like it's happened before. He's like, again. He just starts screaming at them all, like, someone ate my burger? I'll fight everybody in this McDonald's till I find out who ate my burger. So he gets up, he starts walking towards them. So now I gotta jump in, which I can't even believe it's working at this point. So I was like, Lewis, I ate your burger, dude, I ate it. That's insane that you'd not look at me first to see if I did this. So I get him to sit back down. It takes like 10 minutes or so for people to quit filming us with their phones. And that's when it hits me. That's when I'm sitting there, I'm like looking at him and go, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, all right, Lewis, let's just pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. Let's pretend that really happened. You were just gonna go fight that guy, not even size him up. You really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself, that he's making burgers, and then he's eating them, and then he's just sending them out? You don't assume that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? Let me tell you what would happen. You'd walk to that McDonald's counter and be like, hey, who ate my burger? And all the employees, they would part ways. Because they know exactly who you're talking about. And in the back, you would see a guy standing there, cracking his neck. He's got both fists in the fryer. It doesn't hurt him. He's just warming his hands up, waiting all day. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Y'all are unbelievable. I got a buddy of mine that's into this MMA stuff, and he's crazy. And this is when I learned how crazy he was. We went to go eat. His name's Lewis.
Yes.
So me and Lewis go to eat at a McDonald's. It was my choice. So we go into McDonald's. We both ordered our food, and then we sit.
Behind the scenes already,
Yeah.
Dan Soder was there.
Soda was there?
Soder was there.
Wow.
Soder tried to work this bit out on stage.
Oh, no.
And him and Nate had a minor spat
About whose it was?
about whose it was.
And then-
Minor,
and then-
very. In the very beginning, I think Soder was like, "Oh, I'm
Wow.
gonna do something." Same thing happened, honestly, with Big J. And the popcorn dick sword.
Okay,
So
yeah,
Big
yeah,
J
yeah.
had told it on stage as well, and Kurt Metzger. Kurt wasn't even there.
Well,
we'll get into that in a minute. We'll get into that in a
we'll
minute.
get into
But
that.
yeah,
Kurt's
we'll
a
pull the
snake.
curtain aside. Kurt is a fucking snake, dude.
That's a fucking snake. No. I heard this great story from me on stage. I'm your friend.
So yeah, Dan
Dan
Soder was there.
Dan tried to do it. Well, and what's funny is, I guess, did you ever even try? And they were like, no, let us
Relax.
Come on,
guys. You're not ready for this. The
Yeah.
big boys.
So straight away, Dan was there and doesn't even get a mention in it. Well, Jim Jeffries used to live with a comic in England, Steve Hughes, I believe his name is. Maybe I'm wrong. And they got robbed. There's like someone broke into the house and like robbed them at gunpoint. And then Jim Jeffries started doing the story, and so did the friend. And then people come up to Jim after the story going like that. He's like, yeah, you stole that story from Steve. And he's like,
Hilarious.
no, this is the same burglary. I'm Jim in the story, you fucking retards.
That's funny.
Yeah. So this is funny that Dan tried to. There was a little bit of a
If I remember correctly.
okay.
And I remember also Nate. So me and Nate are really close. Like me, I
course.
almost moved to LA right after Nate did. We were like
Yes.
both of our chicks were pregnant
Nate's
at the same
great.
time. We both have 8-year-olds. Nate's my son's godfather. So me and Nate are very, very close. And if I'm remembering it correctly, Dan, he was annoyed that he didn't even mention Dan in this. Dan was like, because when you hear what happens,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, because
Yeah, okay.
Nate doesn't take the bite.
Okay, go
Dan
on.
takes the bite.
Oh my God.
Dog,
My life has been turned inside out right now. Are you just?
these are all snakes.
I'm getting dizzy.
None of these people are creative or fun. They just watch the creativity and the fun happen around them, and then they fucking wordsmith it.
Nice. All right, continue with the
Good.
bit, please.
Sit down at the table with our food. And then Lewis went to the bathroom, so he left me alone with his food. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a prank on him. So I grabbed his hamburger. I
This is
unwrapped
Dan.
it.
Dan is
Bite
doing this.
out of it.
Dan,
And I wrapped
Nate's
it
not a prankster. Dan's the prankster. Nate is simply
I can't
watching this and
I
thinking
can't-
about Jesus or whatever.
Yeah. He was praying.
Yeah, he was
Nate
praying
didn't
in
even
that
notice.
moment.
He was praying Tennessee Titans. All right.
back up, and I put it back down on his tray. So that's my big prank. Like when he comes back, I'm like, dude, did they eat your burger before they gave it to you? That's crazy. They're just doing that now. It's a dumb prank, all right? You see my acting skills. It should not work at all. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. He should come back. He should open his burger. And his first reaction should be to look at his good buddy sitting with him who also dabbles in comedy. And just be like, hey,
Pause it.
just wanted to run this by.
You should be playing a different version. He's bombing on this version. Why is this bombing so much, dude? That usually gets such a big laugh. Dabbles in comedy.
Yeah.
Every time he tells that, gets a fucking pop. Like a
Yes.
pop. This one,
Sorry, Nate. You shouldn't have stole the bit. You shouldn't have stole
dude,
it.
if Dan had been telling this, he would have crushed it.
Dan
dude.
would be doing weird voices,
Oh, yeah, dude.
impressions. He's like, I ate your burger.
So then Macho Man ate his burger, apparently. Go ahead.
Before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what should go down. Just a quick, hey, did you touch my food the only time it was out of my sight before I try to fight a group of people that will not really understand why they're fighting? But that was the day I learned Lewis is a lunatic. And just wants to fight McDonald's people, I guess.
Lewis is a lunatic is the name of the episode, by the way. Just so you know. That's great.
Because he opened his burger and ignored that we came together. Like, didn't even kind of look at me. Just immediately looked at the McDonald's employees, almost as if he expected them to do it. Like it's happened before. He's like, again. Again. He just starts screaming at them all, like, someone ate my burger? I'll fight everybody in this McDonald's till I find out who ate my burger.
This isn't even slightly exaggerated, by the way. Like I made a beeline.
You straight away.
saw red.
What happened? Is this something that you expected? You just born ready? What is it? You just...
I think it's because I grew up so poor
Yes.
that I take it as a personal affront when anything is like wrong with like customer service. When it, like if somebody like if an Uber driver makes a
Yeah.
wrong turn, like I'm just emotional about like my hard-earned money. Like I really have a stick on my shoulder. What is it?
Chip?
A chip on my shoulder. Stick up my ass.
Stick up my ass.
I got a stick on my shoulder. Stick on my
I got a
shoulder
chip
is the
on my-
name of the episode.
I got a chip on my ass.
I got a chip directly up my asshole.
That was wait, what is it? It's something like that. I do that all the time. Where I go,
Yeah, dude,
instead
something.
of making noise, it's like something like that.
I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I got a stick somewhere, okay?
Okay.
About sort of being disrespected when I'm spending my money at a place. Like I have a real like, I was like, no. I also on the other side of it, like when I get good customer service, if I go to a place with good service, I will forego the quality of their food over. If they have shittier food, if there's two places, one place has shittier food with better service, I'll go to the place with better service every single time. Whatever. It really bugs me. It fucking makes me angry. So when I open this burger and I see a bite has been taken out of it, like my mind, like it goes into almost like the gutter.
Where
like,
was
of
this?
course these
Okay.
fuck. It's like Queens.
Oh, this is in
Like,
Queens?
of course, these garbage ass McDonald's
Yeah.
employees would be fucking eating my burger because they're pieces of shit. This is why they fucking work at McDonald's. They can't help themselves. They're fucking animals, and now they need to be trained.
Okay.
Now I need to go train these fucking animals to
Yeah.
not do this anymore, and I will go to jail so the next guy doesn't have to deal with this fucking
can-
rabid dog.
So he can enjoy his $1
Yes.
hamburger.
Yes.
Yes.
But I jump immediately there. Like, I'm very hard. Like, how dare you? Do you know how hard I fucking work for this dollar? Nobody ever gave me anything in my fucking life. How dare you?
Yes.
Without even thinking that that's ridiculous. Like, why would anybody do that? Obviously, I left my burger alone with my friend who's a comedian.
Yes.
2 friends who are comedians.
2 friends. Well, Dan, I don't know if he was there. This is the first time I'm hearing about Dan and this story. All right. Do you want to, whatever.
So he gets up, he starts walking towards them. So now I got to jump in, which I can't even believe it's working at this point. So I like jump. I was like, Lewis, I ate your burger, dude. I ate it. That's insane that you'd not look at me first to see if I did this. So I get him to sit back down. It takes like 10 minutes or so for people to quit filming us with their phones. And that's when it hits me. That's when I'm sitting there. I'm like looking at him and go, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, all right, Lewis, let's just pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. Let's pretend that really happened. You were just gonna go fight that guy, not even size him up. You really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself, that he's making burgers and then he's eating them and then he's just sending them out? You don't assume that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? Let me tell you what would happen. You'd walk to that McDonald's counter and be like, hey, who ate my burger? And all the employees, they would part ways. Because they know exactly who you're talking about. And in the back, you would see a guy standing there, cracking his neck. He's got both fists in the fryer. It doesn't hurt him. He's just warming his hands up, waiting all day. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Y'all are unbelievable.
Hey, Bargazzi.
Multi-millionaire, humble Nate Bargatze. Never cursed in his life.
The
Nate
very
Bargatze.
rich Nate Bargazzi.
I bet you have some great career-ending stories for him if you want. Mr. Choir Boy.
Like 7 or 8.
Okay, yeah. That's,
I got a few. I have a few that could really hurt him.
Did you just look at the camera? Nate, let me open for you. Let me work clean for you.
I'm expecting $50,000 in unmarked
great.
Venmo bucks.
So this, nice. So this was you. This was you. You guys were young comics, just on the scene, just doing what you, just surviving.
Yeah, we were. I mean, eating at McDonald's even. Like I don't eat McDonald's anymore. Like I
course.
never would get McDonald's
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
You know, but this is back in the day. It's funny because like I had never trained, so he was like, "Oh, my buddy's in MMA." Like he's just talking about me being like,
You watched them.
I watched MMA. Yeah,
But this was back when I'm just watching. It was like,
but the
wow.
confidence that I had back then as a
Now would you still be
as a fighter, like back
Okay.
then, like
Yeah.
you could have put any person in front of me. I'm like, I'll fucking destroy them right now. I had no idea. I never like trained a day in my life.
You just had that like
I
New
was
York
like,
attitude of just
yeah,
like,
just like let's go.
just a
I'll
dog.
fight that guy.
And did you ever get your ass fucking handed to you?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
But I never really. It was never like I never into like crazy fights. It was
Yeah.
always like
Broke up too fast before.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like college white guy fights where it's like, come on, bro, let's go. And
Yeah.
then 2 punches they're throwing, and then it's broken up.
Yeah.
Those are like the extent of like the fights I was in. But I was always willing to just fucking go. And now that I have trained a little bit, like now I feel like a fucking pussy because now I actually know how to fight a little bit.
Yeah.
And now I know what people can really do that know how to fight. Like if that dude at
You've seen
McDonald's,
the scale. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
know what
like
you mean.
it's fucking what like
It's like you think you can run fast. When you're looking at the Olympics, you're kind of like, that doesn't look that.
yeah.
But if you're actually there, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude. So yeah,
Yes.
it's so funny, and also because I have a kid now too, I'm just not as willing to fucking
Fight
go
some
and
random-
fight somebody. I mean, I still get into some weird shit sometimes, but you know, I really do like. You know, you start to like as I've gotten older, I've calmed down.
Yeah, I love. We went out to a diner one time, and it's like, I can tell you've obviously gotten to the stage where you're like, I'm going to be really pleasant, but for some reason, whatever way you're saying it, it's almost doesn't quite match the rhythm of your
What do you mean?
attitude. I've seen you just like, you were like, I don't know what you asked for. You asked like the waitress or something, but it was like so polite, but it didn't make sense. So like, yeah, can we just get some ketchup? But whenever you're ready, it's totally fine. I'll just wait for my ketchup. No, baby. No, don't. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I do a thing.
And I was just like, that seemed like worse than just saying, give me ketchup.
When I go to restaurants or anywhere, like, I'm slightly obnoxious. I'm slightly when I'm ordering, but in my opinion,
Yes.
in a fun way.
Okay.
It's fun.
For you?
It's fun.
It's fun for me, too.
It's a fun thing. It's a fun, like I'm playing like I'm razzing them a little bit, you know?
Yeah, they love that. Yo, check out the dickhead on table A.
He's razzing.
No, it's fun. It's a game we
She's
play.
fucking coming into my soup.
It's wank.
I'm going to razz him back, you fucking piece
That's
of
a friendly bit of razzing. Like, give me a bite of his burger.
No, dude. I do. I'm fun. And I always tip 25-30%. I'm a
Nice.
really good tipper. But they got to take the razzing a little
They
bit.
got to take the
Remember we
razzing.
went to a nice restaurant?
Yeah, we went.
I blew your fucking mind with the way I treated this waiter.
Oh, that was
at
insane.
Nobu.
I almost, and I was high. I don't smoke weed really too much. Sometimes before to go to bed, and then I was hitting that California weed, and I was fried. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure we went for dinner, and I didn't say anything for like 45 minutes at the beginning. I was
we
just like
just-
looking.
So we went to dinner with my chick.
And her fucking supermodel friend,
Her-
it was almost like a double date, and I was
her friend who's a legitimate dime piece,
she walked in.
uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah, it was like,
10.
am I staring at her or am I not staring at her? Whatever it is, it's weird.
She's so hot, dude, and she's a
Insane.
nice chick too.
She was nice,
sweet
yeah.
girl. Very like they're all like everyone's being
Didn't
charming.
make sense.
Colum, first of all, we're going to Nobu, which is like a pretty nice Japanese
Which
restaurant.
I find out now is a super famous.
It's very well known. I tell him, I was like, he's like, oh, do I got to get dressed up? And I'm like, no, you can just casual.
Because I went home for a nap. Here's the thing is I was wearing a sleeveless like Nike workout shirt. I went up for a nap and then you go, yeah, we're going up for Nobu. I was like, I'm not changing from what I wore earlier. And you're like, well, it's kind of nice.
I
was
was like, because I never dress nice. Like
No.
I will wear a pair of sneakers and
jean shorts
and a t-shirt.
dash t-shirt.
I'll
yeah.
wear this. This will
I
be
think
my
this is what you were wearing.
this
to
will be
Nobu.
my outfit to go to a nice restaurant. So I'm saying, I was like, no, you don't got to get dressed up, dude. Trust me.
Yeah, but
This guy, he fucking.
are you kidding me?
I mean, it was just crazy, dude. He's fucking just wearing workout gear and fucking.
But I
you
changed.
changed. You
I
changed,
I
which is
changed
great.
into my nice little going out shirt.
But we had to actually have a conversation about it. It was nuts.
Well, I said, you were like, come out for dinner. And I was like, yeah, are we keeping it casual though? Because I was fried because I stayed up the night before on my own doing coke. So I hadn't slept. So I was not in the mood to fucking do anything. But then I was like, yeah, if it was casual. And then I woke up and I was still wearing my same clothes. I was like, this will do.
Yeah.
And then you were like, maybe change. Where I was like, thank God I did.
So we get there.
Thank God. But
and
then
it's nice.
then you were like, get changed. And I walked down to the car and then you were wearing your jorts. I was like, was this a prank? Was this Anyway, yeah, we went to that fancy Nobu, and now I'm in love with sushi now since that.
Oh, you love it.
I love
but
it.
I had to give a tongue lashing to the waiter.
Dude, I swear to God, I almost had to. You weren't wrong. The worst thing is you're never wrong. You're never wrong.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm justified,
But
it
what
can
you
get
do
crazy.
is insane.
By the way, it could have been me being arrested and removed from Nobu. The night could have just went that way. It really depends on how the waiter reacts to my craziness.
We were sitting there. They were probably short staffed or something, but the service was kind of slow. They were bringing out food.
It's a tasting menu, so it's like you get these little portions. You're getting a bite every time they come out. It's a
Yeah.
fucking $80 bite of food. Okay,
Yes. And you have to wait.
and there's 4 of us. And they just don't have the rhythm. Like it should be like, oh, you have this, and then you follow it with this, and then you take a sip of your drink, and then, oh, another dish is hitting the table
Yeah,
right
of
there.
course.
And then they charge you $1,500, and you're like, wow, look at that, Nobu, you figured it out. This fuckface comes out with 4 fucking bites of sushi. We just go,
And then we're sitting.
then we're sitting for 15 fucking minutes. It was a minimum 10 to 12 minutes
Yeah.
between each.
But then you just said, the guy comes over. Finally, I think you got up off your seat and goes, come here. I think you got up off the chair and said, come here. And then you went, can I talk to you for a second? And then you removed yourself from the table and
I
just
did.
brought him to the side.
I brought him to the side.
And it's like an outdoor seating
Yeah.
kind of garden area. So you're just like leaning against this big wall
You know,
of
very
like
intimidating. Like
big,
it's a
you know,
very
the grass. Is, like,
it's an alpha move. I'm doing things where like I'm touching his shoulder a lot. I'm like
it was. I guess an alpha move is one way of saying it. It was
as an
it was
alpha move.
insane.
It's
You
a
brought him
fucking-
to the side
Yeah.
and belittled him, and we were just me and the chicks were just like,
I did not belittle him because here's what an asshole would have done. An asshole would have made a big deal in front of the other table, in front of my table, in front of everybody. What I did was I put on a little, what do they call it? Where there's no words, like a little
performance maybe.
a little silent performance.
A little, okay.
Where you got to watch this guy get berated with my hands, like doing a
Yeah.
lot of this,
And you were
this,
like,
this,
"Dude."
this.
You got-
Nobody could tell what I was saying though, but they knew,
I was like,
and I felt
and
like,
it went on forever.
and
It felt like you were there. We went through 2 plates of food while you were talking to him about the bad service.
Doggy, I told him, I was like, look, we got 2 fucking hot chicks here. We're trying to impress them. I was like, I promise you right now. I was like, I'm gonna give you a great tip. I was like, we're gonna keep on ordering food. I was like, we're gonna keep on ordering drinks. I was like, but you're embarrassing me right now.
Dude,
you're making you
fucking
look like an asshole right now. I was like, these girls, they think we're so cool. I was like, but then I was like, we get 1 meal every 12 minutes. This is crazy. And he
Yeah.
apologized profusely. What happened?
We started getting some food.
Goddamn right.
Actually, then you chased him because you forgot to order something, and you ran after him. And I was like, "Oh my god, this poor guy probably just saw you going, another thing. Wait,
I don't think that I did anything wrong there. I think that I acted
Lewis is insane."
how
If you go
a
quick,
true mob boss would act.
How a psychopathic criminal, how a murderer,
As somebody who kills people when they wrong him.
who a filthy criminal
Yeah.
with no social structure.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
So
Listen, we're done. We have. I get it. No, I get it. You were right. The service was bad. It was just insane to witness someone do that. But you know, hey, look, each to our own. That was great. Now I'm hooked. Now I'm hooked. Thank you for that.
you love good sushi now.
I have had sushi in the past and I've enjoyed it, but I had never had sushi to that level.
Yeah.
So now I'm like
Want to find that.
I'm like looking at restaurants and they're like, should I just spend this $400?
Dog, I'll take you to Sushi Samba. We went to Sushi Samba in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Better than Nobu.
Oh yeah, baby.
Doggy.
There's a couple of spots. There's a spot around the corner I want to go to. Actually.
There's a Sushi Samba in New York, right? When's your birthday, Colum?
September
Tomorrow.
5th. September 5th.
Oh, that's weird. It's my mom's birthday, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's my 30th too. It's my big one. All right, all right. Let's get into another routine, another controversial routine. This is by Kurt Metzger, and it's actually about you and Jay,
Guys,
at a game of some
Yeah.
sort, some Blue Jays, which is baseball, is it?
No, this was at a basketball game. This is at the
Six.
Knicks. This is the Sixers Knicks, I believe, at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
yeah, but he's the kind of people. It's like all comedians are scumbags. So it was my friend Jay, and this is the kind of people that send you that. He was there's a true story. He was at I think like a Sixers game with our other friend Lewis, and Lewis at this basketball game tricked Jay with the dick in the popcorn trick that you might have seen in movies, but didn't know that you could do in real life to your guy friends. Lewis did that to him, and Jay said, looking back, it was odd, like, because Jay was distracted with him, and Lewis just had the bag on his lap and just leaned forward, really. Yeah, you want some? It was Cracker Jacks. You want some Cracker Jacks? And Jay just wasn't paying attention. He's fat. The guy's fat as hell. He's not gonna say no to Cracker Jacks. Believe me. He's not fat as hell. He's gonna be hurt that I said that. He's big. He likes snacks. We'll put it that way. He likes snacks enough to dig his hand in a bag full of dick, okay? How about that, Jay? Can you forgive me? All right. Anyway, so, and Jay, he said he had his hand there, and then he found it, and it's Cracker Jack, so you expect that you would find something fun, right? So we gave it like 3 good tugs before he even realized what was happening. And then he said he looked over at Lewis, and Lewis was just doing this. Just making a big smile, like he just achieved something great. And then Jay whipped his hand out, and the bag just burst open, and there's just Cracker Jacks and dick everywhere. Okay? So Yeah, but he's the kind of people. It's like all comedians are scumbags. So it was my friend Jay, and this is the kind of people that send you that. He was there's a true story. He was at I think like a Sixers game with our other friend Lewis, and Lewis at this basketball game tricked Jay with the dick in the popcorn trick that you might have seen in movies, but didn't know that you could do in real life to your guy friends. Lewis did that to him.
Yeah.
I am hilarious.
Dude,
I mean,
you can't get better than that.
That's pretty fucking funny, dude.
That's funny.
I mean, it was Cracker Jacks, but beyond that, that's just what happened. I mean, there's not
You
much
just
of
said,
a...
fucking, I'm not going to do this. And so, how long ago was this? Was Jay like one of these like senior, big New York guys? And,
Yeah.
and everyone looked up to him and you're like, I'm going to make this guy touch my
I'm make him
dick.
jerk me off in Madison Square Garden.
That's the best thing about it.
As the Knicks beat the Sixers.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, can I get... There's a sugar-free creamer in there. If you ask the one of them out there, they'll let you know which one it is. If you just bring it over. Thanks, brother.
Man, TW, you're teaching my little fucking twink.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Gotta teach him.
A twink. Yeah, so...
That's just fine.
It was a
So-
bag of Cracker Jacks, and then imagine a bag of potato chips.
Yeah.
So if you were to open a bag of potato chips and you were to pull it, you would start
From
to
the
create,
bottom.
or the top or the bottom. But yes,
I know what you mean.
you would just sort of create a smaller hole, and then as you keep on pulling it, that's how you open it completely, right?
Yes.
You pull them at the center. Anybody who doesn't know how to open potato chips.
Okay.
So I just went at the bottom of the Cracker Jacks and I just pulled it open a little bit, just a dick-sized hole. And then I put my dick in it. I don't remember even what Metzger's joke ends up being. Can we listen to more of it? Because I'll tell you what happened.
Absolutely.
And Jay said, looking back, it was odd, like, because Jay was distracted with him, and Lewis just had the bag on his lap and just leaned forward, really. Yeah, you want some? It was Cracker Jacks. You want some Cracker Jacks? And Jay just wasn't paying attention. He's fat. The guy's fat as hell. He's not gonna say no to Cracker Jacks. Believe me. He's not fat as hell. Like, he's gonna be hurt that I said that. He will be. He's big. He likes snacks. We'll put it that way. He likes snacks enough to dig his hand in a bag full of dick. Okay? How about that, Jay? Do you forgive me? All right. Anyway, so and Jay, he said he had his hand there, and then he found it, and it's Cracker Jack, so you expect that you find something fun, right? So we gave it like 3 good tugs before he even realized what was happening. And then he said he looked over at Lewis, and Lewis was just doing this. Just making a big smile, like he just achieved something great. And then Jay whipped his hand out, and the bag just burst open, and there's just Cracker Jacks and dick everywhere.
All right.
Okay?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's pretty much it. Spot on the nose.
That was pretty much spot on.
But so Kurt just
Kurt wasn't there. Kurt was not there. That's not his
Yeah,
story.
well, he doesn't claim to be, but he's just like,
yeah.
are you going to keep doing that, Jay? I'll just take it.
Jay tried. Jay was doing it on stage.
Okay, but then Kurt just fucking
Kurt was
recorded
like,
it.
it's mine now.
Just quickly recorded it. Nice. All these snakes.
What was Jay's? He was talking about the motion of it, what was he talking about? Just like
one of the games.
Yeah,
trying to pick up the thing and couldn't grasp it.
Yes. Yeah, it was just me and Jay were very close at this time. You know, we weren't like, but it was like he was
2021.
he was a senior comic, but we were close enough that would have just been funny.
That is funny though. That's just so fun.
Fucking
Funny to the
hilarious.
right people.
It's
And if they don't find it funny, you're like, you're not worth
It's
it.
just hilarious.
It's so funny. Even now, it's even funnier because you're older and more mature. You should try do it again.
So fucking
Try get it going at a skank some night.
It was
For old time's sake. Would you do that?
Great. Yeah, maybe I will.
Get Ari with it at skanks.
Yeah.
Just have popcorn in the middle of the table, and you're like, "No, Lewis can't be here tonight." You're crabbing underneath it
Yes. It's just my dick.
for an hour.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, all right. Well, we got another one now from Jay. This was recorded just for laughs about you guys going to Canada together, I believe, and you're.
Damn, there are. I realized there are a lot of fucking
There's just
stories
so
about it.
many.
Metzger's another one too. I don't think you have the other one from Metzger, right?
Which was that? The one-armed girl.
one-armed girl?
No, I couldn't find it.
I'll tell you that in a minute. But
And we'll add that to the end of the episode so that people can see it.
yeah,
And it's great too because these are all good comics, so they're all funny.
yeah, they are all funny bits. I'm trying to think if there's any bad comics with bits about me.
I'm sure that they just never get recorded.
Yeah.
Just someone in Brooklyn. He's a raper.
Jake Flores, then he spit in my face. Shut up, you pussy. Fight him. Fly to me, you little bitch. Everyone's like, dude, why can't you just like be funny about it? I was like, I know, right? I wish I could. I wish I could literally be like, hey, Jake, let's roast battle each other. I was like, I just don't got it in me.
Yeah. So that's what your issue. You want to slay him?
I would love to slay him in a roast battle, but I just would see him and I'd start hitting him.
Oh, yeah? You look like a cross between my fists.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Goosh, goosh, goosh.
All right, so you got Jay. Did it come up? I feel like. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we can watch this one now because this one's.
Oh, this is a different one.
This is the one with the dog.
Yeah, this is long.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, play this one because.
Play this one.
All right, that's the end of the free episode. If you want to see more and to have Lewis talk about, I guess, having sex with a dog or something, you're going to have to go over to the Patreon. Patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. Thank you.